guess what? We're gonna move. So we're gonna practice the Tabata together today. This is my favorite form of movement. I'm gonna take my phone. If you guys haven't, a Tabata is a exercise that's a work rest interval. It's 20 seconds of work, only 20 seconds. It's followed by 10 seconds of rest, which we're gonna use to exchange movements. And we're gonna do 8 rounds, 4 of each movement. It's only gonna take us 4 minutes. So I'm gonna take my phone with me. I'm gonna demonstrate those exercises so I am moving. So there's 2 exercises that we're gonna demonstrate today. They are ones that you can do, and they'll be part of your exercise plan that you see in the handout that you'll see from a follow-up. So the first exercise that we're gonna do is a chair sit, okay? So you're gonna sit in front of, or stand in front of your chair, your couch, whatever you have, make sure it's sturdy. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna stand back up. I'm actually gonna stop sharing, everybody. There we go. So you guys can see me. Okay, so sit down and stand back up. Make sure you've got your weight in your heels. You're standing all the way up. You can use your hands at your chest, or you can put them onto your thighs. If you have a chair with arms, you can also use that. The next exercise that we're gonna do is called an up down. This is gonna be a little bit more of a full body exercise and a burst. You're gonna stand close to your chair, your couch, whatever you're gonna sit on. You're gonna put your hands down. You're gonna walk your legs out to what looks like a plank. You're gonna walk your feet back in, and then you're gonna stand up and reach overhead. Now I'm gonna show a couple alternatives to this where you actually can jump your feet out. But if you're a beginner, I want you to stick to the steps. Okay, we're gonna get started. So we're gonna start with our chair sit movement first. I'm gonna get my Tabata timer on, everybody. So here's what we're gonna do. 20 seconds of work on chair sits, and then we'll take 10 seconds and we'll switch into our next movement. Ready? And begin. So I'm going down and up. My weight is in my heels. I'm standing all the way up, pulling my shoulders back. Again, you can put your hands on your thighs. Pausing, sitting up nice and straight. Make sure you're breathing. Guess what, guys? We only have 3 seconds left. And rest. All right, now you're gonna move over to your up down position. I'm just moving around the side so you can see me, standing nice and close. Okay, ready? And you're gonna put your hands down, walk your feet out and in and all the way up. Arms down and out and in and up. Good, guess what? Halfway, only 10 seconds left. Make sure that you keep those shoulders stacked above your hands. You're standing up all the way. One more if you've got a second. And rest. All right, guess what, guys? We're going back to that chair sit. Same movement. Keep it right where it is. Ready? And begin. Sitting down and standing up and down and up. These guys are squats. They are one of the most functional and most important movements. They get you off the toilet. They get you out of bed. They get you in and out of a car. They're a really great exercise. Make sure you keep your weight in your heels. 3, 2, and rest. Good. Back to our up downs. Same thing, starting nice and close, making sure that we be able to engage our core. Ready? And begin. Hand down, walk out, and in and up. This is a really great exercise to work all the muscles of the body. I like the reach overhead because it really allows me to engage my shoulders and open up all my entire body where I'm getting nice core support. Last 3, 2, and rest. All right, good news. We're already halfway through our workout. So this next movement, I'm gonna show it without this particular bench. This is called an air squat. You stay right there if that's your level. Ready? And begin. So this is considered to be a free air squat, body weight squat. If you notice, I have my heels under my hips. My toes are out at 45 degrees so I can drive my knees out. That allows room for my pelvis to come through, keeping my chest up. And every time I come up, I'm squeezing my booty nice and tight. Last one, guys, and rest. Good, back to up downs. We're almost there, hang in there. Remember, it's only 20 seconds. Take a couple big breaths and begin. Now, if you are an up down and you like the step out intensity, I want you to stay right here. If you're feeling sassy, you want to wrap it up, I want you to add a little jump with 2 feet and up. And you can jump both feet and up, or you can stay right at that step, whatever works for you. 3 seconds, guys. Get one more in and rest. Good work. Guess what? One round left of each. I'm going to show this sit to stand one more time. Ready? And begin. Inhale down and exhale up. Squeeze your booty. Inhale down and up and down and up. Remember, you could do that free position if you want to. This is a great place. You can also add weights. You can add weights even to the chair sit, whatever works for you. Last 3 seconds, see if you can get one more and rest. Nice job, guys. 20 seconds left, okay? Just 20 seconds. Last set of up downs. Try that more challenging jump if you feel like you've got a little bit of energy, because we're gonna sit down after this. And begin. Reaching all the way overhead. Good work, everybody. Make sure you stand all the way up. And you can stick to that step if you want to. Last 5 seconds. See if you can scoot in one more time, guys. And rest. Nice job. All right, Tia, how was the workout?
Workout was great. I think I need to take a swig of my water.
Thank you. I know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna
hydrate. Well, we have quite a few questions. I'm going to ask a few of the questions because I know we want to get to weight management. Many of us are thinking about that, especially going through trying to get gain weight. Yeah.
Yes.
So can you tell us about how do we go about recovering muscle mass?
So really there's two really keys to muscle mass. So the way to gain muscle mass is to stimulate muscle to grow. So think about if you've done something vigorous and all of a sudden you're like feeling that tightness and that soreness in your muscles. So when you exercise and you get that burn, that's lactic acid. It's just a production of muscles active in the system. When you're sore for a day or two, a little bit longer, it's called delayed onset muscle soreness. We call it DOMS, D-O-M-S. DOMS comes when you tear muscles down from exertion. It's actually good because what happens, your muscles are actually one big hormone system. They send a signal to your brain like, hey, brain, you know that bicep thing I did or that pull thing I did? My muscles weren't quite strong enough. Send me some growth. And your brain sends repair to those muscles, and those muscles get stronger over time. So really the only way to impact your muscle mass is to use it. Otherwise, you do lose it. It atrophies, but only strength muscle atrophies to the way that I explained. Your aerobic muscle doesn't really atrophy, it's just your overall conditioning.
So speaking of loss, we're thinking about bone loss. Oftentimes we hear about bone loss. So what kind of exercises can we do to strengthen our bones?
So anything that is muscle load. So walking is actually a good bone building exercise, depending on the amount of vigor that you do in your walking, you know, how fast you walk or how intensely you walk. I find that walking fast or flat kind of hurts my shins and my feet, so I don't find it very enjoyable. So I really encourage a lot of people to add things like hills or stairs, or, you know, put a backpack on and put a little bit of weight in it versus just pounding the pavement at a more vigorous intensity. But anything that's weight bearing that creates resistance and impact on the muscle creates new bone cells. Your body turns over about every 7 years completely. And so a lot of times what we need to think about is that we need to do that exercise regularly because we want to keep producing new cells over time.
So we talk about muscle mass, we talked about bones. Now let's talk about the heart and the heart rate. Can you talk a little bit about the heart rate ranges, where it's moderate versus vigorous, especially for those who are actually tracking their heart rate?
Yeah, so the calculation for your heart rate is 220 minus your age, okay, as your theoretical heart rate max. You don't want to work more than 80% of your theoretical heart rate max. So do the math on that, okay? So you take 220 minus your age, 80% of that is considered to be aerobic, around that 60 to 80% range. In general, the rule of thought is 40 to 60% of that range is considered to be fat burning. I will tell you that's kind of not really science-based, but I like to do exercises. The up down is a prime example. People say, is it aerobic? Is it strength? My answer is, guess what? It's both, which to me is phenomenal and very efficient. So the heart rate comes up sometimes to that 80% range, but you're building muscle. Those are my favorite types of movement. That's really what I know is functional fitness. So I tell people, work up to 80%, but when you're brand new, you shouldn't work up to 80% first, because you're not going to be able to sustain it for long periods of time. So if you're tracking, look around the 60 to 70% range, shoot for about 7 to 10 minutes max, and start there. It's really hard when you're coming back, especially from cardiotoxic drugs, to push 80% and to be able to sustain for extended periods of time, which is really frustrating for people. It's often why a lot of my pre-runners come back to me and they say, I just can't run at the same capacity. But here's another reason why. When you lose strength muscle, your aerobic activities also will be compromised. So it's something to think about just when you're thinking about your training. You can't just train aerobic and achieve a full body balance.
Yeah, so Sami, when you did your demonstration with us, you did a plank move, which I think is really cool. Sometimes it can be challenging for some of us, especially if we're dealing with neuropathy. So can you tell us what are some ways we can modify that exercise, especially if we're dealing with neuropathy in both of our feet?
Absolutely. So I'm a big believer that if a lot of the neuropathy, especially when you get too far up on your toes, then you're going to definitely notice that neuropathy will intensify because of the pressure. So a lot of times with neuropathy, I will have people work one leg at a time, not go out as far, or I will have them do the bend down, but not the step out. So instead, they're doing kind of a modified version. Personally, we've seen a lot of evidence in the benefits of exercise for neuropathy because you keep your muscles active and strong, and having active muscles helps with what's called proprioception, which is how you feel. So there's this really fine balance between how much you do and how you modify. I will tell you, if you do a lunge and that pressure on your foot, especially in that back foot, is too much for neuropathy, don't do the lunge. Find something that's different. See if you can go a different direction. A lot of times with people with neuropathy, the up down, if they start at a higher surface, like a little bit of a higher chair or countertop, it doesn't create as much pressure, so they can still do the exercise. Or if it bothers them, we change it. It doesn't have to be an up down. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. No big deal.